1 second. Okay. Listen here, sorry, I have kept it in mute. Transformer. Yesterday I had told eddy current. To avoid eddy current loss, we are using the laminations. We are using the varnish to avoid the eddy current loss. So today we will discuss transformer is having two types of losses. One is copper loss. What do you mean by coil? Coil means copper wire. Coil means copper winding or copper wire. What do you mean by core?
Iron piece.
Iron piece. Core means iron piece. Coil. Observe the difference between coil and core. Don't confuse. Coil means copper wire, copper winding. Primary winding and secondary winding are made up of copper coil. We are having one iron piece that is called core. That is called core. Now see here. In transformer, we'll have two types of loss. One is copper loss. In the coil, we'll have copper loss. In core, we'll have two types of losses. In iron piece, we are having two types of losses. One is hysteresis loss. Another one is eddy current loss. Right on. One is hysteresis loss. Another one is eddy current loss. One is hysteresis loss. Another one is eddy current loss. So transformer consists of only two parts. One is coil and the one is core. So in coil we will have copper loss. In iron piece we will have two types of losses. One is hysteresis loss is represented with WH. Hysteresis loss is represented with WH. And eddy current loss is WE. Eddy current loss is WE. Notation for hysteresis loss is WH or PH. H means hysteresis. H means hysteresis. E means eddy current. WE suffix E. Eddy current loss. Okay. So finally, what I want to say is there are two losses. We'll discuss in detail about copper loss, hysteresis loss, and eddy current loss later. Right now, first before going to the transformer losses, we'll see transformer types. Write down the question. What are the types of transformers? Next question. What are the types of transformers? What are the types of transformers according to construction? What are the types of transformers?
Step up and step down.
Okay, that is step up and step down is according to voltage. Now I am asking according to construction.
Okay.
There are two types. Okay. What are those two types we will see?
Single coiled, multi-coiled.
See here. Two types of transformers are given here. On the screen it is visible, I think. Two types of transformers according to construction. Our first one is core type. Second one is shell type. Right on. There are two types of transformers according to construction. There are two types of transformers according to construction. One is core type. Another one is shell type. First one is core type. Second one is shell type. So in exam, what are the types of transformer means? Don't write step up and step down. You have to write core type and shell type. That is the appropriate answer. Okay. One is core type. Another one is shell type. I will explain what do you mean by core type and what do you mean by shell type. First, we'll see core type. I'm drawing the diagram on the board, you can see. What is this? What I had drawn on the board? Iron piece or coil? Core or coil?
Core.
Core. Iron piece I had drawn. Rectangular iron piece I had drawn. Now I am drawing the coil, wire, copper wire. This is the primary winding. This is the primary winding having N1 turns. Now I am drawing the secondary winding. This is N2 turns. Number of turns in secondary winding is N2. On the core, I am winding the coils N1 and N2. And V1 is the supply voltage. V2 is the voltage at the secondary side. V1 is the primary voltage or supply voltage. V2 is the, on the secondary side, we are having voltage V2. Okay. This is the core type. Why it is called core type means, see the core type definition I am telling now. Core type definition is winding surrounds considerable part of the core. This winding is covering the core. See, maximum winding is covering the core. This is the winding. See the definition you write in your notes. In core type transformer, winding surrounds considerable part of the core. Right now, in core type transformer, winding surrounds considerable part of the core. Winding surrounds considerable part of the core. That means, what is the meaning of this? Core is surrounded, maximum part of core is surrounded by the core. Coil, okay. Maximum part of the core is surrounded by the coil. That is the meaning. Winding surrounds considerable part of the core. Okay. Now we will go for the shell type. I will draw the diagram on the shell type. You see. I am removing this. Shell type we draw. See here. Draw this. First I am drawing the primary coil. This is V1. This is V1, primary winding. Now I will draw the secondary winding. This is the circuit diagram. This is the, for shell type. This is the diagram for shell type. Now see shell type. Here a winding is there. Around the winding, what is there? Winding is at the center. Around the winding, what is there? Core is there. Okay. Winding is surrounded by the core. In the first case, core is surrounded by the coil. In the first case, in core type, core is surrounded by the coil. Maximum part of core is covered by the coil. But here, winding is covered by the core. In the second case, see in your textbook the definition they are giving. In shell type transformer, core surrounds a considerable portion of the winding. Right now, in shell type, see on the screen. In shell type transformer, core surrounds a considerable portion of the winding. Core surrounds a considerable portion of the winding. That is the definition for shell type transformer. Any doubt in this? In the first case, coil is surrounding the core. Maximum part of the core is surrounded by the coil. But in the second case, coil is surrounded by the core, iron piece. Maximum part is covered by the core. Coil is surrounded by the core. Coil is surrounded by the core. These are the two types of transformers. So in exam, you have to draw these two diagrams. In exam, they'll ask for 5 marks or 2 marks. What are the types of transformers? You should not write step up and step down. We have to write core type and shell type. You have to explain the core type and shell type definitions. What do you mean by core type and shell type? If you are hanged out, you can ask me this. Okay. Now I will go for the transformer losses. I will go for the transformer losses. Okay. What I have told about the transformer, what are the types of transformer losses? What are the two types of transformer losses?
Eddy current loss and hysteresis loss.
Transformer losses are two types. One is copper loss and the one is iron loss. First, I will discuss iron loss. Later, we will go for copper loss. Iron loss or core loss. Iron loss or core loss. Two types. One is hysteresis loss and the one is eddy current loss. One is hysteresis loss and the one is eddy current loss. The WH can also be represented as PH, power loss. We'll call it as power loss. WH means hysteresis power loss. The other notation is PH or PE, anything you can represent. But generally in textbooks, they are representing it as WH and WE. These two are the power losses. Hysteresis power loss and eddy current power loss. Eddy current power loss. First we will see eddy current loss, then we will go for the hysteresis loss. Right hand side, write this first of all. Core losses of two types, hysteresis and eddy current loss. Iron loss is of two types, hysteresis and eddy current loss. First, I will explain eddy current loss. Right hand side heading, eddy current loss. Side heading, eddy current loss WE. Eddy current loss WE. See here. This is the coil. In the coil, current is flowing. I is the main current. When current is flowing through this coil, around this current, around the main current I, some circulating currents are developed. Some circulating currents are developed. These are called leakage currents or eddy currents. These are called eddy currents or leakage currents or circulating currents. All are one and same. Around the main current, around the main current I, around the main current I, around the main current I, some circulating currents are developed. Some circulating currents are developed. Some circulating currents are developed, which are called eddy currents. Which are called eddy currents. Which are called eddy currents. Full stop. Due to these eddy currents, due to these eddy currents, due to these eddy currents, some power loss will occur. Some power loss will occur in core. Some power loss will occur in iron piece. Some power loss will occur in iron piece. Will occur in iron piece, which is called eddy current loss. Which is called eddy current loss. Is it clear now? See here, current is flowing in the coil, but iron loss is occurring, but loss is occurring in the iron piece. Current is flowing in this coil, but due to this circulating currents, some loss will occur in the iron piece, which is called eddy current loss. That is about eddy current loss. Eddy currents means around the main current, some circulate leakage currents are flowing. These leakage currents are called eddy currents. These eddy currents will act on the iron piece, and some loss is going to occur in the iron piece, which is called eddy current loss. Next, we will go for hysteresis loss. WH. Hysteresis loss, WH. Have you studied hysteresis loop in lower classes or in +2? Hysteresis curve we have studied. Have you studied hysteresis curve?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think you have studied this curve.
Yes, sir.
On y-axis we are taking B, on x-axis we are taking H. Both are magnetic quantities. B is the flux density, B is the flux density, H is the magnetic field intensity. What is the relation between B and H? B is equal to mu H. Mu is the permeability. Mu is the permeability. So I don't want this relation now. What is hysteresis loss I want? See here, I am taking one iron piece. I am taking one iron rod. On this iron rod, I am winding the coil. I am placing a coil, copper wire. On this iron rod, I am placing the copper wire. I am connecting this copper wire to the battery. I am connecting the copper wire to the battery. So listen carefully. Now I want to make this iron piece as magnet. Now I want to make this iron piece as magnet. That means I have to magnetize the iron piece as magnet. For that, what I will do is, if I want to make the iron piece as the magnet, I am winding the coil. I am placing the coil copper wire on the iron piece, and I am connecting this copper wire to the battery. Actually this is not in your syllabus, but if I want to explain hysteresis loss, I have to explain this. Okay. Now I am connecting this copper wire to the battery. How current will flow from the battery?
Negative to positive.
From negative terminal to positive terminal, current is flowing. Now current is flowing like this. Okay. And again current is coming here like this. Again negative terminal, positive, like this current is flowing. It is completing the path. Now around the current carrying conductor, I have already told. What will happen around the current carrying conductor? What will happen?
Circulating currents.
I am not asking eddy currents. I have told one point yesterday. Around the current carrying conductor, with the help of current, we can generate magnetic flux.
Yes, sir.
Electric quantity, we are getting the magnetic flux. From electric quantity, I am generating the magnetic quantity. That means when you use the battery, current is flowing through this coil. Around the current carrying conductor, magnetic flux is generated. And magnetic field intensity is, if flux is increasing, if current is increasing, flux will increase. Phi is proportional to H, H is proportional to B. Phi is directly proportional to magnetic field intensity and magnetic flux density. Okay. Now, if phi increases, what happens? H increases, B also increases. If flux is increasing, H will increase, B also increase. Now I will take H this value and B this value. Okay, this point you take. Now I am magnetizing this iron piece in the forward direction. From here to here, I have magnetized. I have joined the points. Okay, I have magnetizing in the forward direction. See the arrow? I am magnetizing in the forward direction. Now I will do one thing. I will reverse the battery terminals. Now I am reversing the battery terminals. What happens to current?
Goes backward.
Current direction is reversed. Current direction is reversed. That means now I am magnetizing this iron piece in the backward direction. In the backward direction. Like this, we will take all the points by increasing the current and decreasing the current. We will join all these points, we will get one curve. Actually, this curve is not in your syllabus. Just listen, that's all. Now we are magnetizing the iron piece in the forward direction and backward direction. Why we can magnetize the iron piece only in forward direction? What is the necessity of backward direction magnetization?
Inducing current.
Huh? We are magnetizing first in this direction. We are magnetizing forward direction. Again in the reverse direction, I am magnetizing the iron piece to make it as magnet. Why means, suppose if you do only in one direction magnetization of iron piece, it will lose its magnetism. It won't retain the magnet property. So in both the directions, you have to magnetize the iron piece. Then only it retains its magnetic properties. Then only iron piece will retain its magnetic properties. That's why you have to reverse the battery continuously. You have to continuously change the direction of current for magnetizing in forward and backward direction. When you are magnetizing the iron piece in the forward and backward direction, due to continuous reversal of current, some loss is going to occur in the iron piece, which is called hysteresis loss. See, the area under this curve, the area, if you calculate the area under this curve, that will give the hysteresis loss. If you calculate the area inside this curve, that will give the hysteresis loss. Write down the definition. Hysteresis loss. Write down the definition. First write down the definition. This diagram is not necessary. All these things are not necessary for you. Only, and nobody will ask in exam what is hysteresis loss. Just for your understanding, I am telling. Write down hysteresis loss. Due to continuous reversals of current, due to continuous reversal of current, due to continuous reversal of current, due to continuous reversals of current, some loss is going to occur. Some loss is going to occur. Some loss is going to occur in iron piece. In iron piece, which is called hysteresis loss. Which is called hysteresis loss. All these things not necessary. Okay. Now can you tell me eddy current loss where it is occurring? In iron piece. Hysteresis loss is also occurring in iron piece. Okay. Now total iron loss Wi is equal to, total iron loss is equal to, I means iron piece. Iron loss Wi is equal to hysteresis loss plus eddy current loss. is nothing but the total iron loss. Now in transformer, I had told one more, two types of losses in transformer. One is iron loss. What is the other one?
Copper loss.
Copper loss. WCU is equal to I square R. I square R loss is nothing but power P is I square R. Formula for P is I square R. I square R is nothing but copper loss. R is the resistance of copper wire. R is the resistance of the copper wire. Therefore, copper loss is equal to I square R. That is very simple. Copper loss. These are the types of losses in transformer. Okay. Now I want to tell one point. Iron loss can be determined by conducting open circuit test. Right on. Iron loss can be determined by conducting open circuit test in transformer. Iron loss can be determined by conducting open circuit test in transformer. Next point. Copper loss can be determined by short circuit test. Copper loss can be determined by conducting short circuit test in transformer. Copper loss can be determined by conducting short circuit test in transformer. Actually, in your basic electrical lab, we are having these two tests in the lab. In your laboratory, you are having these two types of tests. Okay. So in open circuit, what will you have? Voltage or current?
Voltage.
In open circuit, right on, voltage will be there. In short circuit, current will flow. In short circuit, current will flow. Now I will define one question to you, which is very important. I will tell that 1 minute. Write on the question. Why transformer rating is in kVA? Why transformer rating is in kVA? Why transformer rating is in kVA? Okay, I am not finding out in the textbook. I will tell why transformer rating is in kVA. See here. What is the formula for S?
VI.
S is equal to VI. What is the unit of S?
Volt ampere.
Volt ampere. Unit is volt ampere. And your transformer rating is in kVA. Volt ampere unit. But they are taking it as kVA. Volt ampere. Kilo means 10 cube. 10 power, multiply these two. 10 power minus 3, 10 cube. It is 1. Generally, they will represent transformer rating only in S, but not in P and Q. They won't represent in P and Q. They won't represent in active and reactive power. They will represent only in total power. That is S is the apparent power. Unit of S is kVA. Y means in transformer, two losses are there. One is iron loss. Iron loss will depend on
Voltage.
voltage, because iron, I had told Iron loss can be determined by using open circuit test. In open circuit test, by applying the voltage, rated voltage of the transformer, will determine the iron loss. Now in short circuit test, by applying the rated current, will determine copper loss. So totally transformer, we are having iron loss is depending on voltage. By applying the rated voltage of the transformer, suppose the transformer rating is 230 volt and 5 ampere. This is the rating. While determining the iron loss, we have to apply full voltage of the transformer. Then only you can determine iron loss. If you apply full voltage, rated voltage means maximum voltage. That if you apply full voltage, then you get complete iron loss. Suppose if you apply only 100 volts, it won't give the complete iron loss of the transformer. It will give wrong answer. If it is 230 volts maximum, we have to apply 230 volts. Then only you will get iron loss in the transformer. Similarly, if maximum current is 5 ampere, we have to apply full current. Then only you get full copper loss in the transformer. Since it is depending on the voltage and current, your transformer rating is in kVA. Write down the answer. In exam, you have to write this one. Since iron loss depends on voltage, since iron loss will depend on voltage and copper loss will depend on current, copper loss will depend on the current. Copper loss will depend on current. Transformer rating is defined in kVA. Transformer rating is in kVA. Transformer rating is in kVA. Search in your textbook, they have given the clear definition. Write in your notes. See the textbook for clear definition of transformer rating in kVA. Afterwards, you can, in your home, after completion of class, you can search in your textbook. I'll tell the page number if I find that one. I'm not finding in which page number it is. Okay, once if I find, I will tell you. That is about the transformer rating in kVA. They'll ask for 2 marks in exam. Why transformer rating is in kVA? Okay, next topic. Write on the side heading. EMF equation of transformer. EMF equation of transformer. Very, very important. They'll ask for 5 marks. This derivation in exam. Compulsory question. The EMF equation of transformer. Derive the EMF equation of transformer. Okay. See here on the board. On y-axis, I am taking the flux. On x-axis, I am taking the time. Draw the sine wave. I am taking one cycle. I am taking one cycle. Total time period of one cycle is t. Total time period of one cycle is t. Draw the diagram. Total time period of one cycle is t. Next, what is half cycle time period?
T/2.
It is t/2. At 90 degrees, what is the time period? T/4.
4.
It is t/4. And on y-axis, I am taking flux. This is the maximum flux, phi m. Phi m is the maximum flux at 90 degrees because sin 90 is 1. Okay, listen here. Now your flux is varying from 0 to maximum. If you take from 0 to t/4 period, it is varying from 0 to maximum. Again from t/4 to t/2, how it is varying?
Minimum.
From maximum to 0. From maximum to 0 at t/2. T/4 maximum. 0 to maximum. Maximum to 0. Again from 0 to
minimum.
this one is negative maximum. This one is negative side maximum. This is minus phi m. This will be minus phi m. 0 to maximum, maximum to 0, 0 to again negative maximum to 0. So I will take only one variation from 0 to maximum. This is second variation. This will be third variation. This is fourth variation. 4 variations are there which are symmetrical. I will take only one symmetrical from 0 to t/4. 0 to maximum. Okay. Now here, what is the voltage induced? V is equal to N into d phi by, yesterday I had told this formula, Faraday's second law.
Yes, sir.
N is the number of turns of the coil. What do you mean by d phi? D phi is called change in the flux. D means change. There is change in the flux. Dt means change in the time. Okay. For time being, let us take N is equal to 1 turn. Otherwise, take N is the number of turns of the coil. Now I am taking d phi from 0 to t/4. What is the y-axis? D phi is the change in the flux. I am taking it as phi m minus 0 by t/4 minus 0. See, from 0 to phi m minus 0 on y-axis from 0 to t/4, phi m minus 0, change in the flux. Dt is t/4 minus 0, this period. y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
Okay. Now I am removing this. Now I am deriving the average voltage. Average voltage, V average is equal to N into phi m by t/4. Now tell me, what is the formula for frequency? F is equal to 1 by, is it okay?
Yes.
Frequency is equal to 1 by time period. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that means T is equal to 1 by F. Substitute in place of T. In place of T, I am taking 1 by F. Okay. Bring this 4F to the numerator. This is the average voltage. Better. Okay. But in the problems, while calculating in the problems, which voltage will take, average or RMS?
RMS.
In calculations, we will always take RMS values. Now I got average value. I had to convert this average value into RMS. How we will convert this? I want RMS value. What is the formula for form factor? I had told this formula. Form factor is equal to RMS voltage by average voltage. I think I had told
Yes, sir.
in second unit. What is the form factor you have got? Value. What is the RMS value of the full wave rectifier? Vm by root 2. What is the average value of full wave rectifier? Vm by 2 Vm by pi. Now simplify this Vm cancel. Pi by 2 root 2. How much you got? Have you got this? See in your second unit, I have explained this one. RMS value of full wave rectifier is Vm by root 2. Average value of full wave rectifier is 2 Vm by pi. If you simplify this, we'll get 1.11. Okay. If you are not remembering, this is the form factor value, 1.11. So form factor is 1.11. Now take RMS value. VRMS is equal to 1.11 into average, V average. 1.11 into V average. Now we know the average value. What is the average value? 4 N F phi m. This value is substituted there. That is VRMS is equal to 4.44 F N phi m. This is the RMS value. Let it be equation 1. This equation you have to remember. This is the EMF equation of transformer. This is the EMF equation of the transformer. Phi m is the maximum flux. Phi m is called maximum flux. Any doubt in the derivation?
No, sir.
Now see. This is phi m. What do you mean by flux density formula? B is called flux density. First of all, density means divided by area. First of all, density, if it is a surface density, divide by area. If it is volume density, divide by volume. If it is line density, it is divided by length. Density, surface density, divided by area. In the numerator, what you will get?
Flux.
Flux density means flux per unit area. Flux density means flux per unit area. Okay. And what is the unit? Unit of flux is Weber. Unit of area is meter square. This is the unit. Otherwise, the unit is also called as 1 Tesla. 1 Tesla is equal to 1 Weber per meter square. In exam, they will give in problems Weber per meter square or Tesla. 1 Tesla is equal to 1 Weber per meter square. In either way, you can represent the units, either Tesla or Weber per meter square. This is the unit. Now, phi is equal to B into A. Substitute this here in place of phi. Therefore, VRMS is equal to 4.44 Fn BA, because phi is equal to BA. Phi is equal to BA. Now let it be equation 2. This formula also you have to remember. Nothing, just if phi is equal to BA, we are substituting. We can remember any formula for exam, in exam point of view. These two formulas. Now in transformer, how many windings? How many windings are there? Two windings. What are those two windings?
Primary, secondary.
Okay, primary and secondary. Primary winding voltage I am taking V1. Secondary winding voltage I am taking V2. Okay. Now I am 4.44 F. In place of N, what you had to write? N1. Only V1 and N1. I am representing V1 and N1. Similarly, here also V2 and what you will write?
N2.
And if you take V2 here, I'll take N2. Let it be equation 3. Let it be equation 4. This is equation 3. So these are the EMF equations of the transformer. This is V1 is primary voltage, V2 is the secondary voltage. V1 is the primary induced voltage. In some textbooks, they will represent like this: E1 and E2. E1 is the primary induced voltage, E2 is the secondary induced voltage in secondary winding. N1. If you take E1 here, we have to take N1. If you take E2 here, you have to take N2. So this is the EMF equation of the transformer. Let it be equation 3 and 4. Now I will go for equation 4 by 3. Take equation 4 by 3. What you will get? E2 by E1 is equal to
N2 by N1.
N2 by N1. Cancel all the remaining terms. All these are cancelled. E2 by E1 is equal to N2 by N1. Now I will define one term that is called transformation ratio. Siding. For 2 marks they ask. What is transformation ratio? In exam they ask 2 marks. For 2 marks. What is transformation ratio? Transformation ratio is represented with K. The formula for K is E2 by N1 or N2 by N1. Formula for transformation ratio K is equal to, in exam you can write K is equal to E2 by N1 or N2 by N1 or I1 by I2. I1 by I2. Why I am writing I1 by I2, why not I2 by I1? See here. What I have told, transformer rating is in
KVA.
KVA. What is the formula for S?
VI.
VI.
VA. Now I will take V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2. I will take V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2. Now can you tell me V2 by V1? What is V2 by V1 here? From this
I1 by I2.
I1 by I2. Now is it satisfied? V2 by V1 is equal to I1 by I2. That's why I have wrote V2 by V1 is equal to I1 by I2. Remember this formula, then we will get the relation. If you know this formula, you will get the relation. That is the transformation ratio. This formula you have to remember. We'll use this formula in the problems. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see the problems. Shall we do one problem? No? Okay, we'll do one problem. Afterwards, I will close the class. Take down the first problem. Write down this question. Maximum flux density in the core of a 250 by 3000 volts. Have I written the problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, this is the given data in the problem. Maximum flux density of a core of 250 by 3000. Primary voltage is 250. Secondary voltage is 3000. 3000 volts. They have given primary voltage 250, secondary voltage 2000. And what is the flux density he is giving?
1.2
1.2 Weber per meter square. Weber per meter
Weber per
square.
meter square.
Tesla. Okay. What is the frequency?
50.
50. And what else the data he is giving? EMF per turn. EMF per turn means on primary side E1 by N1, that is equal to 8. Secondary side E2 by N2, that is equal to 8. EMF per turn he is giving. Then he is asking us to determine what he is asking us to determine.
Primary, secondary turns and area of core.
What do you mean by primary turns means N1, secondary turns means N2, and area of the core. These three values they are asking. N1, N2 and A. Now, okay. From this relation, can you determine E1? Sorry, N1?
Yes,
E1
sir.
by N1 is equal to 8. What is E1?
250.
250. Substitute 250 here, we'll get N1. Substitute 250, we'll get N1. Now tell me what is N1?
31.2.
31.25. Your number of turns will never be in decimal values. Round it off to higher value. Your number of turns will never be in decimal values. Round it off to higher value. N1 is 32 turns. Similarly, here substitute E2. E2 is 3000. E2 is 3000. We'll get N2.
375.
375 tons. N2 is this one. Now I want to calculate area. We know the formula for E1. E1 is equal to 4.44 F N1 B A. E1 is how much? 250. That is equal to 4.44. Frequency is 50. Your N1 is 32.
32.
What is this 1 point?
1.2 Weber per meter square.
Okay. B is 1.2. We had to calculate area. Calculate the area. Unit of area is meter square.
0.029.
Okay, 0.029 means approximately 0.03 meter square. Okay, in the coming classes we will do the remaining problems. Still 2-3 problems are there. An EMF equation of transformer. 1 second. I'll take the attendance, wait.